everyone. So this video is to explain how to use UTM tags to be able to pretty much track any marketing campaigns that you're doing and being able to track them back to sort of where the user came from. So where would we find this information? So I'm going to show you here. So this is a standard setup of a Google Analytics 4 account. And in the user acquisition and in the traffic, so anywhere that you're looking at acquisition, you will generally have sort of this table that is set to first user primary channel group, which gives you sort of a really sort of large scale overview of where your traffic came from. But if you then change this to have a look at first user campaign, you will now be able to see any campaigns that you've specifically tagged. So for example, this one here is a Google Ads PMAX campaign. This was a social media post campaign that we did. This was a specific webinar series that we did. So you can then very clearly be able to see what traffic was generated through a specific campaign. You can make it a lot more granular because if you then have a look at source medium, you can then be able to see, so for example here we've got LinkedIn with post 1, and we have a spreadsheet of exactly sort of what post 1 was and the differences between the different posts, so that when we are then analyzing a campaign, we can see which specific post types or ad types brought traffic through. So you can see this was an email, this was a PDF handout that we did. Here's Facebook with post 2. So you can pretty much tag any URL. You can do it within your organic social posts. You can tag the URLs in your social media ads. Even sort of links inside PDFs, WhatsApp messages. Anytime that you're going to be sending out a link that you then want to see what the response was, you should be tagging it so that you've got the ability to track it. So you say to me, Mel, that's all very nice, but how do I actually do this tagging thing? Well, it's really, really straightforward. So Google has a campaign URL builder, so making it really, really simple and straightforward. So here is for web, and if you're trying to track something through an app, you can do it through the Play Store as well if you've got all of your GA4 set up for your app. So I'm going to just do the standard web one. So we take our URL that we want to track. So if this was sort of one of your product pages, or, you know, sort of if you're wanting to send people, you know, to a blog post, obviously it would be that. I'm just using the homepage as an example. So you would use the page that you want people to go to. You don't have to put a campaign ID. Now the campaign source, this is sometimes where people get it wrong. So campaign source is where it's going to show up here with source medium. So your campaign source should really be, you know, sort of where it's coming from. So is it Meta, or more granular, is it, you know, sort of Facebook or Instagram? Is it WhatsApp? Is it, you know, sort of you want to have the sort of technological source of where that's coming from if you're putting it into a PDF, etc. So our campaign source here, we would say, is LinkedIn for a LinkedIn ad. Your campaign medium would be sort of what specific medium is it. So if you then want to say that this is now sort of a LinkedIn video ad. The campaign name, now the medium is the one that would come up in this report. The campaign name is the one that comes up in this first user campaign. So this is the thing that should be tying it all together. So if you are running a Black Friday special, all of your Black Friday stuff should fall under the same campaign name. So we'll say Black Friday. You can also put any other specific terms and then your content, which can differentiate it further. But I find it most useful to use these two main reports to be able to differentiate. So if you then want to get more granular, you can. You just have to be more explanatory. But what I believe is an easier way to do it is that we set up a Google Sheet that shows all of the tagged URLs for a campaign with the differences between them, so that when we're going to do the analysis, we've got something to refer back to have a look and see potentially which ads performed better in terms of actual sort of performance on site. It's wonderful to know that you've got a great click-through rate and engagement rates, but at the end of the day, most of the time we want to know, did somebody buy, did they sign up, did they, did they do the key event that we wanted them to? So this is a great way to be able to track it within GA4, no matter where the traffic is coming from. So once you've put all of your parameters in, you then get this generated URL. You also, you can shorten the link so that you get a bit.ly link. That does improve click-through rates on ads, etc. If you put the full link in, it can sometimes put people off. Obviously, if you're working in a platform like one of the places people don't tag is in their emails, and it's really critical because very often GA4 is not necessarily picking up email visits. It's not correctly differentiating between organic and paid social traffic. So tagging the links really helps you to be able to keep track of that. So the shortened bit.ly link, the place where it's mainly useful is in organic social media posts, where you're putting a link in. And this definitely looks more attractive than this. So you would then use this link and then come back and you can tag all the links you want, but if you don't actually come back and look at the data and analyze it to be able to have a look and say, right, this campaign was good, the engagement rates was pretty high, and we had 2 key events out of it, you have to be able to measure it. And obviously within, if you're running an e-commerce store, you would want to modify the report to bring in your revenue and your average purchase revenue, so that you can really get granular to see out of all of your marketing efforts which one is bringing you the best return on ad spend. So if you've got any questions, you know where to find me. But hopefully this has clearly explained how you can build URLs, keep track of your marketing efforts. Have a fantastic day further. Bye.